closest. I'm 11, going on 12 in September. My sister was 15. My sister is 15, going on 16 in October. Her name is Lisa. She's 5'4" and a little bit fat, but not really. She has light brown hair, shorter in back, that falls in her face. She sucks at the end sometimes, but only on the left side. She's kind of shy. Her best friend's name is Julia, but we call her Jules. They used to come to this coffee place almost every day after school. They poured out most of the coffee and put in lots of cream and Splenda. They were learning how to knit. Some college girls did stitch and bitch, sitting on these worn-out orange couches near the windows. Lisa and Jules tried to always sit at this red table near the door. It was closest to the couches. I came in sometimes after school with my best friend Hannah. Lisa told us to get out, but we got hot chocolates with whipped cream and sat at the closest table to them, licking the whipped cream off of those little coffee stirrer straws and using them to sip our drinks. We played games on our cell phones, and Lisa sometimes told us to shut up. Soccer started a month ago, so Hannah and me stopped going in as much. One time we walked by and saw Lisa sitting at the red table with a man. Hannah thought he was 37, but I think he was around 27. The police report says one of the girls who works here said he looked about 29 or 30, so I was closest. But one of the stitch and bitch girls said he looked about 35, so Hannah says she was closest. I think the coffee girl knows better because she saw him up close when he bought coffees for Lisa and him. The report says he bought her coffees about 5 times. Hannah thinks the man was tall, but she doesn't know anything because he was sitting. She says he had brown hair and a biggish nose. I don't think his nose was that big. The report says the coffee girls looked at pictures, but said he wasn't in them. They don't pay that much attention to anyone except guys they know. We thought he was probably one of her teachers. Jules says his name is Eriq, and he's Lisa's boyfriend. They met on the bus. Jules never met him. She says Lisa wouldn't let her because she didn't want to look like a little kid. Jules says Lisa is in love with Eriq. Lisa never told her what he does or where he lives. She's been gone 10 days, since March 29th. It's kind of cold today. Soccer got canceled, and I came here. I told Hannah I wanted to come by myself. I don't care if it hurt her feelings. She never had a sister anyways. It's called His Days. On his bad days, he warned me against having hope. He needed company in his desolation, and I walked down dangerous steps to meet him. He made me scones and coffee. He watched me eat and drink and brightened when I said the scones were good. I bought the raspberries at the farmer's market because I know you love them, he said. I thought to tell him I do not love raspberries, but blueberries. But he did not attend to the things I loved. His bad days became mine. He no longer needed to warn. On his good days, he did not call. He found more good days. He found a girl and took her to the farmer's market where she chose raspberries. He made scones for her and invited me over. She was tall with brown hair. Some thought her pretty, including her. She looked like me. He told me about her, and we both listened to things she knew. She was a pediatric nurse. She grew up in Maryland. She used to dance ballet. They laughed about her ugly feet. I liked her. I felt lonely and went home. We met a while before at a cafe where he watched for the few minutes it took for me to finish Thursday's New York Times crossword puzzle. I thought guys only spoke to girls in cafes when they were interested. I thought when he asked me to get together, it was a date. We didn't go on a date. He pegged me as a caretaker. I took care. I listened to him talk about other girls. Sometimes he cried. He likes selfish ones. He introduced me to a few. They looked a little like me. I entered a crossword competition I learned about in a documentary. I practiced, I timed myself. I was close to the winning times from the year before. I didn't tell him. On a good day, I told him. He said he wondered why I hadn't been around as much. It was too close to turning into his story. I was on flat ground. I didn't want to descend. He said, be prepared to lose. Waiting was unnecessary. Good or bad, they were his days. They had little to do with me when they didn't have to do with him. I thanked him for the caution. When we parted, my love for him halved. I stopped for ingredients. By the time I arrived home, it was halved again. I made blueberry scones. They were the best scones I ever had. The girl who looked like me, the ballerina, left him. He called me crying. I listened to voicemails while doing crosswords. I had 2 weeks. I did not have time to take care. I was lighter, safer. I got better, faster. I did not prepare to lose. I did not prepare to win. I did neither. After he didn't ask how it went, I didn't offer. I told him I liked blueberry scones. He made me blueberry scones. I told him they were good. They were not as good as mine.